I am starting a project, and there's a thumbnail sketch, a small sketch of the scene that I'm painting. I am sitting outside. I have an easel and everything, art supplies, everything set up. I am starting to lay in some big blocks of background and major information on this small wooden canvas. So this is a painting in acrylics. It is on recycled, repurposed, just a piece of plywood that I sanded lightly. I don't mind that it has some indents and grooves and roughness to it. I actually like that. And so I have a simple way of going about this. What's the simplicity? It's primary colors, yellow, red, and blue, plus black and white, and that's all I use. And then I would mix all my variants and secondary colors, primary, secondary, and just go about slowly and carefully building up, starting up a painting. So the stage of blocking in. Once I collected enough information, photographs and ideas, then I went ahead and sketched, carefully studied, understood the picture that I'm painting. I have, after drawing something, there is already intimate knowledge and connection to the image that's formed within me. And now I am transferring the image, improving it as I go along, and blocking everything in with the major color that is found, local color. So let's say the background behind the structure needs to be grayer, colder, lighter, less prominent than anything in the foreground. So that's what I'm trying to set up right away. Tonal, that means light and dark properties. Tonal properties are light and dark properties, and color properties are dealing with particular colors and their warm and cool characteristics. Warm colors are the ones that seem more hot, like sunshine colors, yellow, orange, red, and any color that has these warm colors has property of warmth. And then the cool colors are the opposite of that. Blue, purple, and everything that has any blue in it is a bit cooler. And I think black is also on the cool spectrum most of the time. Well, once I have my major shapes figured out and placed in, then I can get into smaller, more particular information, like this layer of foliage. In my experience, studying from nature, so observing, going out and studying in painting outside in plain air, or drawing outside, just observation and intimate connection with the subject is so important. So my experience with leaves and foliage is that there are so many of them, and they have such a expressive and diverse form. And I'm not really drawing the leaves, or sometimes I am like a couple of leaves, but a lot of times it's just these abstract smears, swirls, marks that are moving on an angle and moving dynamically, and that's what kind of makes it leafy. And this painting has been initiated as a commission during my residency stay on a art farm on Manitoulin Island, where I volunteered and created together with others. And at some point, my host felt compelled to see if I would be open to making a few paintings based on her wish list. And this painting started as this wish list painting. What's particularly important here is, so I kind of taken the bird feeder in a tree that we can see from the porch, sitting and the bird watching and feeding the birds. And there are so many birds that come there. It's a really amazing place, and that tree is like a safe haven for them, and they know about it. And my host, she's been a bird person for a long time, so this subject is so dear and important to her. That's what she sees every day in her environment, and she loves that scene with the bird feeder. So I connected with that. I made sketches and went ahead and started crafting this painting. And so here, how can I I got this bird feeder, I got this tree, I got plants in the foreground, foliage, then far back lighter plants over there, they're set up, and then there's this kind of broken up older stone building that has a little greenhouse attachment on it. And but all of this is done in a kind of expressive and painterly way. So yeah, so what am I doing there? I went to start all of my objects within the painting, and then I went back into each object. Like, I've taken the object in the foreground and I developed it further, and now I'm also adding small features. So as I go along, I move from large, overall, general, big areas to progressively smaller and smaller, more particular information. Oftentimes, it amounts to taking like a roughly marked object, such as this building, and then kind of biting back into an object and adding more particular shadows, more particular lights, and increasing color complexity. So as I'm painting this, I am not really painting the building or bricks or windows or anything. I'm really thinking about the quality of color. Is it lighter? Is it darker? Is there more warmth or more coolness to the color? And as I am creating these surfaces, as I am breaking these surfaces up into smaller, more particular components, I am also enriching them. I am mixing maybe 2, 3, 4 or more variations of this color that I'm applying, and I'm giving a bit more richness to the existing flatness, the flat starch surface. There I am adding cooler gray purple into medium darks of the greens, so that a coolness of the shadow property can kind of move throughout the painting, so that we can see that there is a little bit of blue, a little bit of purple appearing in most shadows, along with the darker and mid-tone greens. So it is recommended. I would recommend it as an instructor and as a painter and as a trained painter. I would say to go very, very simple and just use one color for everything, and then add light and dark to it is not quite enough for depth, richness, and like expressiveness maybe. So I am engineering kind of these surfaces. I am asking myself to continue to add a little bit more depth, a little bit more color information each time. So I arm myself with a lot of patience, and I am saying to myself, nothing is really finished until I can spend enough time and put in enough energy with everything. For the longest time, when I'm painting a painting, including this one, I am not secure in the notion that, like, I don't like the painting. You know, it's a little bit ugly, it's a little bit raw, it's disbalanced, it needs work. It's saying to me, hey, I got lots of areas that need to be developed to my liking a lot more. So because of that, I am not setting out to finish or really stress or worry about, oh, you know, I am not supposed to have a really good result for the longest time. And when the time comes and the painting is complete, that's when I can get into the mindset of evaluating it, saying, oh, you know, now I'm liking it or not liking it. But before that, I will just give myself a break and say, hey, this project is going to be a little iffy, a little ugly for a while, and then I will put in the energy needed to get it where I want it to be. And so I am constantly so you know, this painting is done over maybe 2-3 days. There are other projects that I'm working on at the same time, and I am kind of arriving in front of the easel and saying, all right, let's proceed with further with this work. And let's say this day I noticed that the top area of the painting where a lot of darker leaves were visible, that was too much for me. So too dark, too many, so I broke it up with and reduced the amount of the foliage shown at the top, Now I'm coming back with some darker definition within the bushes in the front, bottom left, and I'm kind of getting closer and closer.